Hey, let's fly some planes. I do want to stress that I have no idea if this is going to be a thing or not. All right, guys. So today we're going to do a shortish flight from our home base here in Cleveland to Myrtle Beach because it's cold and I thought it'd be cool to go someplace warm. So let's get started. Okay, so I like to use SimBrief for my flight plans. It's a very handy website. What you do is you just come in here and plug in your, airport codes. We're going to be going from Cleveland. We're going to go to Myrtle Beach. We want to depart 24 left and arrive runway 18. I'm sure that could be different because of the wind. But yeah, that's all there is to that. Altitude, we're gonna do 36,000 feet. And, oops, can't forget to select your airplane. We're gonna be using the Pmdg 737, which is a very detailed, awesome airplane, and it can be a little bit overwhelming, but that's what you got me for. All right, so all that's left to do is hit generate flight right here. And if you have the SimBrief downloader, you can have it literally download it and install it to the flight plan folder for the Pmdg 37. So that's all we need to do on that front. We're just gonna check, make sure everything looks good. Looks like we've got a flight time of 1 hour and 23 minutes. Sweet. All right, let's get to the simulator. All right, so as you saw in SimBrief, we're gonna be doing the Pmdg 737. So let's go ahead and select that. Pmdg. Let's use the regular old one, but I want to do the Southwest livery. Okay. And we'll pick our gate. B10 seems cool. And let's make it not nighttime. Let's go 9 a.m. see what happens. Okay. So with that said, we just click fly. All right, so here we are at the gate in Cleveland. We're gonna do a cold and dark start because I wouldn't have it any other way. The only things I have changed for this are I have the IRS alignment speed set to 30 seconds instead of real time because I'm not waiting 10 minutes and otherwise this should be mostly accurate. But if I'm being a dum-dum, please let me know in the comments. All right, power on, silence that, APU start. Now we just gotta watch this thing. Come on. Come on. Come on. Climb. Oh. He's doing it. He's doing it. Look at him. He's doing it. And fall. And fall. APU's ready. APU. On bus. One fuel tank. Fuel pump. Packs. On. Oh yeah. Emergency lights. We don't worry about that. Let's get some light in this thing. Alright, let's program the CDU. I usually use my iPad for this, but today we're not going to. So let's go to our FMC, pause init. Okay, Cle. Enter, route. Okay, Cle, come here. Execute. Depart arrival. Make sure you clear up any route discontinuity in your flight plan. Cost index of 500 because we want to go fast. Flight level 360. Execute. Buh. Buh. Remember this speed. Alright, so with all that programmed in, we're ready to program our FMS up here. So we're gonna set our altitude to our cruise altitude of 36,000 feet. We're gonna auto set our altimeter because we got time for that. We're gonna set course 1 and 2 to our final course for the ILS, so 177. And right here for our IAS select, we need that V2 speed. Remember? Alright, just a couple of things we gotta do here. There's our TCAS, set that to Terra. Let's get some lights on. Alright, we're ready for push and start. Let's turn all of our fuel pumps on. We're gonna turn our packs off. and our APU bleed to on. And we're gonna start engine 2 first because the hydraulics are linked to that. And speaking of hydraulics, let's turn on those pumps. We need that N2 to get to 25. Once it hits 25, we're gonna move the fuel control, this guy, from idle to cut off, or cut off to idle. But why are you not steering the plane? Same deal with engine 1. Oh yeah, this is important. Well, we've got that engine firing up. We need to set our cabin pressurization. And we're gonna set that to our cruise altitude of 36,000 feet. If you don't do this, it will yell at you. Also, now that the engine is started, you make sure to turn your packs back on, your APU bleed off, otherwise it won't pressurize and everybody will die. I don't know if that's true. The masks would fall down. Oops. Flaps to 5 for takeoff. And let's get ready. You know, if you guys want to see me do this on VATSIM, it's probably a little more entertaining. Alright, so we're lined up on the runway. We're going to turn on our auto throttle arm, flight director 1, flight director 2. We're going to set our auto brakes to RTO so they don't go off while we're cruising down the runway here. Let's go ahead and turn on LNAV right off the rip. And we're ready to take off. So, give this a little bit of a run up. Alright, looks good, send it.
Your speed's alive.
Nobody asked you.
80 knots.
Woo!
Positive ready to climb.
Gears coming up. And we're manually gonna fly to SID for a second before we turn on our autopilot, LNAV, and VNAV. Now this thing will literally fly itself. Flaps are coming up. And now we don't have like anything really to do until, I mean, at 10,000 feet we're gonna turn off the landing lights. Once we get to top of climb, we'll program in our descent data. And after that, we're pretty much golden until it's time to descend. Okay, so we've reached our cruising altitude of 36,000 feet. Alright, so we already know our ILS frequency and final course there. So that's already plugged in. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at the charts. And I'm using Navigraph charts, as you can see. This is a very handy tool. So we're just going to plug in Kilo, Mike, Yankee, Romeo. Hit enter. Open those charts. ILS 18. Alright, so we can see we already have our 109er 5. That's that. Final course 177. Which is rad there. And it looks like at waypoint Bevet we're going to be at 1,600 feet. So I'm going to set that in our FMS. And then at top of descent, it'll just automatically start descending down to that and following all the rules for the star. Now we're done till it's time to descend. So we'll be back again. All right, we are approaching our top of descent, so that's going to happen momentarily. There it is. I've programmed in our 1,600 feet. So now we're going to start descending, and VNAV's going to, follow any rules we need to follow. Let's take a look outside. Ooh, it's pretty out here. It's not the fastest descent. Yeah. Which tank is empty? Center tanks. So we'll turn those off. Alright, just continuing on down. And then once we get to 17,000 feet, which is the transition altitude, we're gonna reset our altimeter. You could listen to ATIS for that, but I'm just gonna hit the B key on my keyboard. I do like manually setting it, but I have on one of my FIP gauges here, you can adjust the altimeter setting, but it doesn't work with this plane. Coming up on our transition altitude, so I'm just gonna set the altimeter now. Let's go through the clouds. Alright, so we're below 10,000 feet, so our landing lights are on. And we're still a little ways away from needing to do a whole lot. Okay, so drag required, so let's use some speed brakes to slow us down a little bit more. Spoilers. These things. Okay, so if you remember from our Navigraph charts, Bevet is where we're going to intercept the ILS. So once we turn at waypoint Uxtep, we're going to turn on localizer mode, which is this guy right here. And then once we intercept the localizer, we're going to hit approach mode and autopilot 2. And then that'll let us do an auto land, because this plane can land itself. An ILS is just radio frequencies at an airport that you tune to, hence the 1095 I have set here for nav 1 and nav 2. And then it'll put little diamonds here on your PFD. And if it doesn't do auto land, what it's supposed to do is, whatever. How it works then is it'll keep you on the glide slope with those diamonds. So if you're too high, the diamond will be up here. If too low, it'll be down here. So you gotta keep those diamonds centered. And you come in under the ILS, because sometimes you can get like phantom positions. So, but you'll see when we get there how it works. Okay, we're beginning our turn towards UX-Dep, which means it's almost time to do localizer mode. And we got 6 miles to Bevet, which is where the ILS frequency, or the ILS intercept's gonna happen. Alright, so we're pretty much straightened out, so I'm gonna turn on localizer mode. Pay attention to these diamonds, see we're a little off this way, and we're gonna be off this way until we intercept. So, while we're at it, I'm going to drop my landing gear. We're going to arm our speed brakes. And we're going to set our auto brakes to 2. And you'll see this diamond is now centered. And this one will begin to fall as we get just a little bit closer. Once they're both centered, we're just going to hit approach mode. See it's falling there. Give ourselves a couple notches of flaps. And approach. And now this thing will land itself. So we're gonna go full flaps. I think our land speed was 140. Gears down. We're landing with a tailwind, so it might actually give us a little bit more auto brake. Move our throttle handles back. And get ready to go reverse. That was a little weird. Auto land kind of failed. Alright. Reverse thrust. And we'll hit the brakes. I guess that's why you don't land with the tailwind. Alright, well, we used way more runway than we wanted to. Landing lights off, taxi lights on, flaps up. But hey, you know, we're on the ground. They say any landing you can walk away from is a good landing. I'd probably get fired if I was a 737 pilot for Southwest. Well, maybe not. I don't know. This seems good. Hey! That's my spot. Oh, no, that's not my spot. Hold on. No, that's right. That's where it should be. Gonna need you to move, Haas. Come on. This is totally normal.
Myrtle Beach ground N1218ER007. Could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
How do people... Woo!
Myrtle Beach ground N1218ER007. Could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
This is fine. There, that looks a little better, I guess. Alright, so let's go ahead and kill our fuel. Engines are off. Shut off our packs. Alright, and that's it. We're completely shut down. Ha! It said an hour and 20 minutes. We did it in an hour and 13. Landing was a little rough. We came in kind of hot, but, you know, it is what it is. So that's how you fly a Boeing 737, kinda, from Cleveland to Myrtle Beach. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.